in the Spirit Racing Brigade. So the drivers head out onto the circuit then in the Super Shifters category. And this is how they line up. Thierry Del Rey alongside Stentorian Pinemaghi on the front row of the grid. Nicolas Rohrwasser and Philipp Siever. And then we have Kevin Ludi and Carlos Leon with Casper Corjus and Michel Bifiger. Now, I wasn't aware that Pinemaghi was going to be starting second on the grid. He might have had a penalty applied yesterday that I wasn't aware of. So I thought it was going to be Stentorian Pinemaghi in front of Thierry Del Rey. But apparently they have swapped positions. So something has happened there. Not entirely sure. But from Stentorian Pinemaghi's point of view, even starting second on the grid is going to be a pretty neat and tidy position to go from. And after the starts he was pulling off yesterday, I don't think he'll mind too much if he's second or first. So as long as he's on the front row, he can cope with that. And I think he would have heard the news, being Stentorian Pinemaghi and knowing him as I do, I think he would have heard the news that he's starting second, not first, and gone, okay, fair enough. He's very laid back, is Stentorian Pinemaghi. He doesn't let things get to him. He just copes with what he's got and goes, okay, I can do that, I can handle it. So he's a very, very talented young man, very well composed. Thierry Del Rey, the 32-year-old from Heers in Belgium, alongside him on that grid, has been begging himself, pleading with himself to get things right in terms of his bid for a victory in the pre-final and the final. And if he does it, if anybody takes a victory off of Stentorian Pinemaghi from now on this weekend, the championship fight will go down to Castelletto. It's as simple as that. So if anybody can beat Stentorian Pinemaghi today, the championship fight will go down to Castelletto. That's what is riding on this, basically. So Pinemaghi has to win both races to be crowned champion, and that's going to be quite tough because the field is very, very close, especially with the likes of Kevin Ludi, Thierry Del Rey and Casper Corjus being as fast as they were in this morning's warm-up. So there's 3 drivers straight off the mark there who want to get ahead of him. And Carlos Leon should be strong as well. So here we go to keep the championship alive. Del Rey, Pinemaghi, Rohrwasser, Siever, Ludi, Leon, Corjus and Bifiger. They line up in position on the grid. Mr. Starter is going to move across the line, and now it's time to go racing for 15 laps around the Wackersdorf circuit. Lights will come on, and when they go out, we're racing in the pre-final of the IAME X30 European Series Super Shifter weekend at Wackersdorf. Now! Cracking getaway from Pinemaghi. He launches away into the lead. Del Rey in second position. Rohrwasser trying to squeeze through into second place. Hasn't made it. Siever nicely there through into fourth position, making the move for third immediately. And contact! Contact between Rohrwasser and Siever. So the two of them clatter into each other, and I think Philipp Siever might be out of the race on the spot there at turn 2. So unfortunately, Siever and Rohrwasser come together, and that means that Carlos Leon has gone through to third. Casper Corjus has gone through to fourth position. Rohrwasser has recovered in fifth place in front of Kevin Ludi and Michel Bifiger. Ludi's down to seventh place, though. So Pinemaghi leads, and his main rival in the championship, Thierry Del Rey, is there in second place. But Philipp Siever has got major damage and is pulling straight off the circuit at turn 4. So Philipp Siever trying to get the car going again. Siever is out. So Pinemaghi leads with 14 to go, and it's Thierry Del Rey in second. Here comes Corjus up the inside of Carlos Leon. Sweet move into turn 1 there, beautifully executed, and Corjus really had him nailed. Absolutely perfection in that particular move. So the Estonian is going to join his countrymen in the top 3, and if it remains like this, then they'll both end up on the podium today. The Estonian flags will be atop 2 places on the podium, not 1. So Corjus flying beautifully well here. Into third place from Leon. Then it's Rohrwasser, Bifiger and Kevin Ludi down in 7th position. Just 7 of them remain as Philipp Siever is now a rather disgruntled spectator up at Marshall Post 4, I think it is. He's parked the car. So a rather unfortunate end to the race there. And that is a real shame from his point of view. But Pinemaghi still leads the way from Thierry Del Rey. Mach 1 indeed in second place. Third is Corjus. Fourth is Leon. Then it's Rohrwasser. 6th position, it is still Michel Bifiger in front of Kevin Ludi. Now, there's no team orders in the Spirit Racing team from what I gather, so as far as I'm concerned, they can just race out amongst each other. But Ludi, who was fastest initially in qualifying, is definitely going to need... Now, that's a rare mistake, actually, from Stentorian Pinemaghi. He wobbled a little bit there into the chicane, and that has given Thierry Del Rey a bit of a motivational hope. That's a very rare error from Pinemaghi. He just got a little bit twitchy into the right-hander at the chicane, and potentially Thierry Del Rey might see that as an opportunity. He is vulnerable. I could go for him there. I think that's just about the only wheel Sten Dorian Pirimagi has put wrong in the entire weekend, and it still didn't cost him that much, did it? But still, he has got to keep his composure together. This is a very important race weekend to get right. It could give him the championship if it stays like this, but he's got to win both races today, not just this one. Thierry Del Rey right on the tail of Sten Dorian Pirimagi. Kasper Korjus is the fastest man on the track, though, in third position, and he is looking very hungry for the victory here. Down the back straight they go into the hairpin. 4 straights alongside each other in parallel here with the way that the hairpins weave around the circuit. It's a fantastic design, this Wackersdorf circuit. Plenty of long straights into very heavy braking zones, and it provides so much overtaking. It's a great circuit here at Wackersdorf, and we're going to see it at its best here. Look, Pirimagi is not far ahead of Del Rey, but Korjus is going faster and faster and faster as the pace continues. Korjus really has himself dialed up here. This is a different driver compared to what we saw yesterday, or should I say, it is a different setup to what we saw yesterday, because Korjus has always been this feisty, but he didn't really have it set up right yesterday to be able to do this, and now he's right on the tail of the first 2 men in the Drivers' Championship. Pirimagi and Del Rey still battling away. Pirimagi looks under pressure here from Thierry Del Rey. Korjus is going to try and go for it, but Del Rey moves across to stop him getting there. A little bit of a nerf as they come through the hairpin, just in the ebb and flow of the run, but these 3 are very close together, and Pirimagi has got to hang on to this for another 10 laps. He's already had 5 laps of pressure from Thierry Del Rey. Now he's going to have 10 more laps of pressure from both Del Rey and Korjus. So Carlos Leon is 4th. 5th is still Rohrwasser. 6th is now Kevin Luddy in front of Michel Biffiger, so they have swapped places. But Pirimagi is really struggling to hang on in front of Del Rey and Kasper Korjus. This could be a real nail-biting finish for once. Sten Dorian Pirimagi dominated at Salbris in both races. He had a bit of a harder job of it at Marienburg because Kevin Luddy was back on the pace, as was Thierry Del Rey. But this time, in the pre-final, Pirimagi is actually really struggling to hang on, and Del Rey's up the inside and takes the lead, and Korjus goes through as well. All of a sudden, this Super Shifter pre-final has been turned on its head, and Thierry Del Rey has gone into the lead from Kasper Korjus. So Del Rey is your leader, Korjus in 2nd, Pirimagi in 3rd. If Sten Dorian Pirimagi wants to win the championship today, he's going to have to pull his socks up and find something special. Carlos Leon's closing in on them as well in 4th place, so this is going to be an absolutely epic battle. Thierry Del Rey is in the lead and looks like he could take his first victory of the season, but Kasper Korjus is right there with him, and the Estonian has definitely got something special lined up today. So let's see how it all plays out. But these 3 battling together, it's now 4 karts battling together because Carlos Leon has come through. Good defensive driving from Del Rey. Can Korjus hold on to that and get away through? For the moment, Del Rey is hanging on. Now, I was talking to Sten Dorian Pirimagi about this yesterday, and I said to him, why were you defending in the middle part of the race? He said, well, in Super Shifters, you can defend pretty much whenever you want. You can get a better run off the turn and hold that inside line without losing too much draft. So it makes sense to defend whenever you feel that you can't go any further forward. So here is the battle between the top 4. Del Rey, Korjus, Pirimagi and Leon. I don't think we expected this order at the halfway point of proceedings, but we are on the halfway lap. Lap 8 out of 15, and this has suddenly become a spectacular battle. Thierry Del Rey still leads, Kasper Korjus 2nd, Sten Dorian Pirimagi is 3rd, and Carlos Leon in 4th position. Del Rey defending to that inside line at the hairpin. He clearly feels that Korjus is very strong there and does not want to give him an inch. He does the same thing in the next hairpin, down the back straight. He's able to keep that kart very well placed. This is brilliant defending from the Belgian. If he can hang on to it and stay where he is with Pirimagi down in 3rd, then whatever happens in the final, the championship would go down to Castelletto. Now Carlos Leon sees an opportunity past Pirimagi, the Estonian, but he's not going to get there. So here comes Thierry Del Rey, leading from Korjus. Pirimagi's going to make a late lunge for his countryman and has to back out of it. So Pirimagi is feeling the heat here. He thought, well, maybe I can get this done after all. And all of a sudden, Del Rey and Korjus have thrown a spanner in the works. So 7 laps to go, including this one, and it's running out of time pretty quickly. Korjus is getting frustrated, clearly sat behind Thierry Del Rey. They don't want to take each other off and give the door wide open to Pirimagi, but as a result of these 4 getting nose to tail and Del Rey just defending, it's no longer a 4-kart battle, it's a 5-kart battle, because Kevin Luddy is right on the back of this now as well. No, sorry, yeah, it is Kevin Luddy, because Nico Rohrwasser has clearly let him go. So Ludi has made the move on Nico Rohrwasser up in a 5th position, and now there's 5 of them battling for the victory. So Del Rey, Courjeux, Pirimagi, Leon and Ludi. And it could be any one of these 5 who gets the victory. It could be any 3 of these 5 who ends up on the podium. Del Rey, Courjeux, Pirimagi, Leon and Ludi. If Pirimagi wins this race and the next one, he will be the champion. But at the moment, Thierry Del Rey and Casper Courjeux have other ideas. They want to take the title fight to Castelletto. Here in Wackersdorf, this is a nail-biting contest in the Super Shifters. 10 laps are done. There are now 5 to go as they come across the line. And Casper Courjeux is getting a little impatient, sat behind the Belgian Thierry Del Rey, the Mach 1 racing team. Well, he's not going fast enough to disappear in the distance at the moment. He is just defending at the moment. Down the drop to turn 3, through the left-hander, up towards the hairpin left at 4. And there is Ludi making his first lunge at Carlos Leon. Not close enough. But maybe if he starts to get into his blind spots behind him, if he starts to sense that the volume is getting louder behind him, Leon could end up feeling the pressure of Ludi, make a mistake, and that could be enough to let him go by. That's what Kevin Ludi is banking on at the moment. And as these 5 are still line astern with Del Rey holding up the pace, Rohrwasser and Biffiger are not far away. This could end up being a 7-car train for the victory, and then it could be no holds barred in the final 4 laps. Here they come again. Pirimagi is actually dropping off the back of these 2. Courjeux is working with Del Rey to get away now. They're trying to drop these 3. And if that is going to be the case, then those last 2 laps of battling are going to be absolutely magnificent. Now Leon's having a look at Pirimagi, who dives for the inside line, holds his position, and Carlos Leon can't get through there as he tries to make the move in a 4th position up the inside of Pirimagi. He's trying to get there, but Stendorian Pirimagi is not going to be intimidated by the Spaniard. And now Kevin Ludi's got a chance. Oh, great defense as Leon gets alongside Stendorian Pirimagi. Watch for Ludi. He could make a lunge into the hairpin alongside Pirimagi again. Carlos Leon getting impatient, sat behind the Estonian. And their 3rd place battle is amazing, but Ludi's dived up the inside. Leon is going to try and come straight back at him as they go side by side for 4th place, but Ludi has got it for the moment. And that has released Stendorian Pirimagi on his own in 3rd position. 3 to go. And they've got a deficit of 1.5 seconds to make up now to Thierry Del Rey and Casper Courjeux. I think the championship's going down to the wire in Italy. Thierry Del Rey and Casper Courjeux in 1st and 2nd places, battling away for the victory. This is a real turn up for the books, and I have to say I'm delighted, as much as it would have been a great pleasure to see Stendorian Pirimagi lift the championship here at Wackersdorf. I think we're all particularly satisfied with the fact that if it finishes like this, the title and all of the other 3, of course, as well, will go down to Castelletto. There will not be a single champion crowned this weekend after all, by the look of it. Stendorian Pirimagi, where's he gone? Where's Stendorian Pirimagi gone? There he is, still battling away there with Ludi. Side by side. Ludi is giving him the hurry up here, and Pirimigi's in trouble! Pirimigi's in trouble! Stendorian Pirimagi is out of the pre-final. His first retirement of the 2018 season. As if it wasn't more dramatic enough, the championship leader and the man poised at the beginning of this weekend to become the champion is out. So that's going to be his drop pre-final. He will have to fight for it at Castelletto in 4 weeks' time. And that means now that we're going to have these 2 battling away in the final lap for the victory. Thierry Del Rey versus Casper Courjeux. It's going to be one of these 2 fighting for the victory, with Kevin Ludi set to be 3rd place. And Stendorian Pirimagi will start on the back row of the grid alongside Philip Seaver. So here we go. Del Rey defends to the inside. Courjeux coming around. Into 5. Through the right-hander. Down the drop once again. Thierry Del Rey hangs on in front of Courjeux. Ludi is 3rd. Leon is 4th from Rohrwasser and Biffiger. But I'm not sure Courjeux is going to be able to get close enough to Del Rey unless he overcooks it. Can Courjeux get a good run off the turn? Del Rey still defending to the inside line. If Courjeux can get a good exit out of the hairpin here, devastating for Stendorian Pirimagi watching at the side. So he'll have to fight for the title in Italy in 4 weeks' time. But it's Thierry Del Rey who gets the victory in the pre-final. The Belgian has done it. Courjeux is 2nd, Ludi is 3rd, and Leon is 4th from Nico Rohrwasser and Michel Biffiger. Wow, I'm not sure we expected that result today, but it's a very well-deserved one. Thierry Del Rey hangs on, having taken the lead from Stendorian Pidimargi. I did think that there was a bit of an issue with Pidimargi's kart. That's why I was a bit confused as to where he had gone, because he was backing up into Ludi. But then just 3 corners later, his kart is out on the sidelines. So drama here as Thierry Del Rey takes the victory, but he would have beaten Stendorian Pidimargi anyway. So it's academic, but Stendorian Pidimargi is out. Thierry Del Rey takes the victory. Kasper Korjus in second from Kevin Ludi. Carlos Leon in 4th place from Nico Robas and Michel Biviga, with Stendorian Pidimargi in 7th. Now, of course, he'll be able to take up the start for the final. And if he wins that, he will still be the championship leader, I think. But the big problem is going to be that he's now going to have to wait 4 weeks to go for the championship title. It's great for us here as spectators. It's probably not what he was after. But he did say, well, win or lose today, I'm not really going to be too panicked about it. I can go well at Castelletto and still seal the title. So he's going to have to wait. But that is a big shock. Stendorian Pidimargi retiring was definitely not what we thought was going to happen. So now we've got 2 more pre-finals to come here. And the next of those is going to be the absolutely epic battle in the X30 Juniors. As Stendorian Pidimargi's kart is cleared away from the scene of his breakdown in the Super Shifter pre-final, and he scratches his head trying to figure out what went wrong. He's now obviously got 1 more race to come here in the final, but he's not going to be the European champion today. That is for certain. It will have to go down to Castelletto in Italy in a few weeks' time. So that's going to make things very interesting. And now Thierry Del Rey, having taken his first pre-final win of the season, is very much back in the championship fight. And I think on the points scored thus far, I'm trying to figure out how many points have actually been scored by, how many points would have been scored in the Super Shifter final for 7th position. Just trying to do my maths here very, very quickly. It'll be 29 points, I think, for Stendorian Pidimargi in that one, compared to 34 for Thierry Del Rey. So he'll actually gain 5 points. So Stendorian Pidimargi still leads the championship, but the gap is down to just 3 points. So that's where things are going to get very interesting at the latter stage of the weekend. And if Del Rey can keep that kind of pace up and stay relatively in front of his main rival, even if he beats his rival, he will tie on points in the championship leading out of here. If Del Rey can win again, he will either lead the championship or be tied in the championship with Stendorian Pidimargi. This title fight in 2018 has been turned on its head by that retirement by Stendorian Pidimargi. So we'll come back to that a little bit later with the final. But it's now time for Junior X30, and the championship battle between Lewis Gilbert and Marty Boyer has become a bit of a backdrop to this particular